Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's good to see you all again. The kind of questions I've been getting about the information I'm sharing with this channel are leading to this video here, which is an update on the war on the astral planes. For those of you who aren't really clear what's going on Earth right now, it's because, unfortunately, our world leaders are possessed. It's part of the function of entering their inner circles. If you're not part of their inner circles, then you're not possessed. It's part of the ceremony they go through. And so humanity's real enemy is not an organization or kerfluffle. It's not incompetence. It's not anything silly like that. It's a choice to be continually destructive and obstructive of humanity. And this choice is made by a group, or several groups, I should say, who are controlling our world leaders. And so this is a report as of the beginning of May 2022 as to what's going on. And it's the first report, and so I'll do a bit of background. There are several factions involved in this. There are lots of different groups who all have a slice of the pie in controlling Earth. Now, these groups are predominantly non-physical. They're predominantly don't have bodies, they borrow ours from time to time. And so our real battle has got nothing to do with this politician or that politician. They're running the agenda for these non-physical groups until that politician runs out of political credibility, and then they boot him out and replace him with the next guy who's following an identical agenda, an identical set of rules, an identical plan. This has been going on for a very, very long time. However, their plans seem to be faltering. And I'll explain what we do. Our little group is a group of astral travelers who I call us a guerrilla commando force, I think would be the right word for it. It's kind of it's fun and ridiculous at the same time. We're the ones flying around at night and going and beating up all of these guys and running them off the planet and destroying their plans and ending their goals. It's really, really quite and we do this so that the current major plan to enslave the entirety of humanity is not enacted. It is a war because obviously it's a war. The current goal, as stated by Agenda 2021 and Agenda 2030, lockstep, and just about everything coming out of the World Economic Forum, involves killing 9 out of 10 people and hooking the rest of us up to an AI so that the AI can control us. Now, to kill and enslave an entire planet or its own species on a planet, that's warfare, that's genocide, that's what it is. Like, if you don't think this is spiritual war, get your head straight. These guys want us all dead. I do hear a lot about we have to love them until they come right. And, you know, I hear that a lot, but it actually has not been working for decades and it's still not working. And we haven't made it work. And it won't work. And it's not working. Don't forget about that. If we want to reclaim this planet, I don't imagine that the evil empire that this planet is a small part of will suddenly decide that, oh, they've said enough times, they've been good, they're nice people, we should be gentle, their hearts are open, maybe we should give them their planet back. It's not going to go that way. The only way that these guys understand it is fist to face, get the hell out of here, we don't need you. And that's what our little Astral Travel Club's been doing. A lot of us are astral combat experts and we're incredibly effective. Though at the moment we're branching into designing the new world, the new emotional, the new grids, the new codes for the new world, and making sure humanity knows how to be a different way. But here's to the meat of the topic. The last couple of years have seen some incredible changes in the astral planes, and they include but are not limited to the death of Lucifer, the murder of Lucifer, I should say, and the rest of his cohort being run off planet. All of the demons are named in the Bible, they're all gone. The only one who didn't want to leave was Baal, the Lord of Lies, And since I personally booted him off planet, the media has been faltering in what it's been doing. So that's where they're at. The Dracos have their contract to manage Earth has finished. They intended to hand it over to the Mantids. However, they have not enacted the transhuman agenda and the chip implant for every human. So that's not running very smoothly. The Chimera were here. The Chimera are a group who are fundamentally into authoritarian communism. So we don't see very much of them in the West, but in other parts of the world, they're very, very active. And they're known by looking like two animals smushed together. So half this animal, half that animal. That's the Chimera crew all over. And about 6 months ago, they were run off planet too. Or sorry, their management abandoned the planet. They were fighting the hardest, but their management abandoned the planet and left their blue collar staff here for us to deal with, which is going okay. The Demiurge has also been, well, he's been killed. He's not going. Him and his cohort, who are key to ideas of slavery, are not going to be here anymore. As the, if you've seen my recent videos, the reptilians have left the planet. Oh, sorry, reptilian management has left the planet. However, there were a few rogues who decided to stay and stick it out and see what they could achieve. And it's our job as our little group to round up a bunch of them, and we did. So there's no more reptilians here. The Greys have not been seen in years. However, on the as the reptilians were leaving, they did invite 4 other groups. They did contract for 4 other groups to take over the planet. However, they actually have to physically do it. They have to start, they give them the rights to make war. I'll put it in a really simple way. You can have the planet if you can claim it, was basically the key to the contract. Now, the Mantids who were supposed to take over have failed. There was some negotiation, but they seem very, very angry right now. Of the other 4 that were invited, one of them, who you may know of, is the Winged Serpents, who are the masters of the Draco. They've elected to not participate in this action. They've elected to not spend resources here on Earth, which is excellent. However, the other 3 groups are attacking the heart of Gaia. Their attempts to claim Earth are, well, we're not used to these guys, so we regard their activities as novel, and we have to learn their methodologies, so that we know how to counter them well. But on all fronts, actually, we're miles ahead. Now, I've had a lot of aid from the Galactic Federation of Light. Please be clear about the difference between the Galactic Federation and the Galactic Federation of Light. The Galactic Federation of Light is a much more nicer group than the Galactic Federation. But the key presence here on Earth for the Galactic Federation of Light is the Pleiadians. And they're supporting us in incredible ways. They're doing so much. The Arcturians and the Syrians, who are also key allies for humanity, are also have large presences here and are very, very busy doing a lot of cool stuff. As you know, I might do another video coming up soon if you write it in the comments that you would like that, to do a video on the timelines that Earth is facing between the Paradise Renaissance timeline and the Control transhumanist timeline. Now, humanity is obviously facing a choice right now between those two, and I wanted to do a description of what's going on with those timelines. A friend of mine asked me where we're at, just without it going into any detail, on a scale of 1 to 100. And as of this morning, we're in the high 60s. But before the war in Ukraine, we were 91. We were 91 out of 100 steps towards claiming the planet for ourselves. So we're backtracking a little bit. Their aggression is huge and fresh, and there's still a lot of fighting to do to run these guys off planet. I expect that a lot of good things will happen in the near future. We're working very, very hard. The other thing I wanted to mention is the formation of our Earth Energetics Protection Agency, which is built based on a simple statement. So if humanity doesn't take over and control the grids of Earth and the energetic fields of Earth, then some group of galactic punks, be they reptilian or otherwise, will show up and do it for us. And so we need to form an office of qualified people to manage Earth grids permanently. Now, we would love it if you would sponsor this Patreon, because what it means is that some of us can move from part-time work or full-time work and part-time support of humanity to full-time support of humanity, to make sure that as we enact this, that we are successful, because whatever we do, we succeed at. We just don't have enough time to do all the work that we want to do. And supporting us through Patreon actually buys our time back in that game. Now, there's also an education program through there where we train spiritualists to a very, very high level of activity on the astral planes. Just about all of our members of our group are capable of medical intuition and mental health intuition. So, and this is a skill that is constantly mocked by the establishment because they are scared of it. We are the major thorn in their side. We're the problem that's preventing their activities on the astral plane from working. We've got ways of liberating the world leaders that they've ensnared. There's lots we can do, but if you spend time and money on this, then by all means, we can too. Thank you all for listening. I really hope that you share my goal of a free Earth, and that the Renaissance and the beautiful things that are to come for the next generation, as human culture goes through a growth spurt, fabulous and fantastic. I can't wait for it all. But we work very hard towards this end, and we'd love your support. We are constantly recruiting. If you've had 10,000 hours of astral travel experience, then you just might be ready for us. There is an interview process, so please get in touch with me and we'll see what we can do. Thank you very much. Thanks for listening. Questions in the comments. I'm sure there'll be plenty of them. Love to you all. Bye-bye.